Good morning, listeners. My name is Dylan Sanchez, as you all may know, and I'm finally back with another segment. It's been a while since I've been on air, and a lot of things have happened since my last segment in the sports world, but firstly, I'd like to address this. The South Texan newspaper here in Texas A&M Kingsville, of which I am the sports editor, got the chance to compete in the Texas Intercollegiate Press Association in Fort Worth, and let me tell you that the experience was a great one. And on top of that, we as a staff brought home a record 22 awards with a first place finish and overall newspaper design, something that we have never done before. And it was a very proud moment to be a part of, and this is the reason for my absence. But now I finally get to come back to the mic and talk about the sports world, which I love doing. As you all may know, there has been plenty of activity in all of sports. We're going to talk about John Harper at our very own Texas A&M University Kingsville, the NBA playoffs, the Kansas Jayhawks being named the NCAA champions of the 2022 collegiate basketball season, and Deshaun Watson leaving Houston and wrecking the home of a certain quarterback. And I'm going to talk about all of this today. But before we dive in, I'd like to say rest in peace to the bad guy, Scott Hall. I am a proud WWE fan. I don't care how old I am. And in honor of the Wrestling Hall of Famer and a founder of the baddest group in sports entertainment history, we have a new theme that was too sweet to pass up. Let's take a walk on the sports corner.
For life.
We're going to start with the NCAA. And the biggest news in sports today starts at the collegiate level with the Kansas basketball program earning its fourth NCAA championship in program history against the underdog 8-seeded University of North Carolina. The Jayhawks overcame being down 15 points at the half and managed to capture its second title since 2008 in the 72-69 victory. And I can see the Michael Jordan memes coming back already. North Carolina just couldn't keep the same momentum to close this deal, man. It hurts to be in that situation. Trust me, I know. And I mean, personally, for me, I had no stake in who won or who lost regardless. But when you watch a team run out of gas like that, it's like, damn, just not like this. They had a chance. It was right at their fingertips, but they just couldn't close the deal. And when you talk about this loss and you talk about the stakes that it had and how it happened, you have to think that there are a lot of teams that always end up on the wrong side of history. If a record is broken, it's usually at the expense of another individual or group. So now we know UNC as being a part of the greatest comeback in NCAA championship games history, but they were on the wrong side because they blew this lead, unfortunately. But congratulations to the Jayhawks, who stuck in there despite the impossible measures. All records are meant to be broken. But I'm pretty sure that this wasn't the record that head coach Bill Self was going for. But it brought a championship to his and his players' resume all the same. And to top off the championship victory, Caesar Sportbook has the Jayhawks as the favorite to win it all over again. Now you have to think about it. The last team to repeat championships were the Florida Gators in 05 and 06, led by Billy Donovan. So as next year rolls around eventually, it will be the task of Coach Bill Self to lead this team to a repeat with departures from Big 12 Player of the Year and likely lottery pick in this year's draft, Ochai Agbaji, and big man David McCormick. Now it's time to talk about Javelina sports. My man John Harper is the National Mansfield Athlete of the Year following his dominance in the heptathlon throughout the 2021 and 2022 season. Harper recently was crowned the NCAA Division II Indoor Track and Field Heptathlon champion following a 5,751-point performance that marked the third best performance in D2 track and field history. Along with being named Male Athlete of the Year, Harper has integrated himself as the most decorated athlete in TAMUK track and field. I got to interview John Harper, and what he said was he was surprised because there were several great athletes that were also nominated for this award. It's been an honor to represent TAMUK on a higher platform, and I'm blessed to receive this award. The Lorena, Texas native came to Texas A&M Kingsville in 2016, and since then has earned 6 All-American awards, 8 All-Conference honors, 3 Lone Star Conference championships, a Regional Athlete of the Year award, and assisted the men's outdoor track and field team to the 2018 NCAA championship. Most people ask for half of that in any type of fashion, in any type of sports. Taking home this award makes him just the second Javelina in program history to ever receive the honor since Jerome Johnson in 2016. This season, John started the year with a 5,451-point first-place performance at the Boo Rogers Invitational in December, and then a 5,282-point performance at the Washburn Open in January. John consistently finished first in the heptathlon throughout the whole season and put up impressive individual numbers as a specialist on the team. And to finish off the indoor season, the NCAA Division II Championship saw Harper finish first in the 60-meter hurdles and the pole vault in the heptathlon. Adding to his array of skills going into the final meet of the indoor season, he was included on the NCAA qualifying 4x400-meter relay along with runners Sterling Riles, Michael Samihamba, and Joseph Swearick. Harper has been a major contributor to the success of Javelina track and field, and head coach Ryan Dawes had the pleasure of being his coach all these years. Riles, being a young competitor for Tanmook, has run alongside John Harper for the past year and has made use of the experience and leadership of the veteran champion. I got to interview him as well, and he said John is a very inspiring person to be around. He trains extremely hard and sets the tone for our track meets. With him winning the heptathlon before we ran motivated the rest of us on the 4x4 to try and win our heat and possibly take the first place trophy home. Now, with this being his last year of eligibility for the Javelinas, this is without a doubt the last season of competition for the long, productive college career of John Harper. Although the engineer must prepare for his exit as one of the most individually successful Javelinas to walk this campus, it will not be without a proper send-off. This year during the outdoor season, the Lone Star Conference Championships run through Kingsville in 2020, and winning the LSC title will be the first step for John Harper and the Hogs to capture the second NCAA Division II title for Texas A&M University Kingsville in the past 2 years. Let's go Javelinas. I'm all for it. I'm ready to see it.
You're going down.
Let's make a quick jump to the NBA. The NBA playoffs are just 8 days away now, and the play-in tournament is set to begin next Tuesday. And currently, this is what we're looking at for the following teams in the play-in tournament: the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Spurs for the Western Conference. On the Eastern Conference, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Hawks, the Hornets, and the Nets. Now, for those who don't understand, and trust me, I'm included in that, here is how the play-in tournament is structured. At the conclusion of the regular season, but before the first round of the playoffs, the team with the 7th highest winning percentage in each conference will host the team with the 8th highest winning percentage in a play-in game. The winner of the 7-8 game in each conference will earn the 7th seed. The team with the 9th highest winning percentage in each conference will host the team with the 10th highest winning percentage in the 9-10 game. The loser of the 7 and 8 game will host the winner of the 9 and 10 game in a play-in game. And the winner of that game in each conference will earn the number 8 seed. All teams mentioned have a chance to rise and fall in this bracket on the road to the playoffs. I'm not going to put my faith in any of these teams, any play-in team, regardless of the talent on the roster, because the rest time between the play-in game and the team that's been waiting to play in the playoffs is going to be too great. And I think those teams from 1 to 6 are just going to be too rested for that kind of competition. I'm taking the Phoenix Suns. I'm not going to budge. I'm not going to waver, because this is my pick. And if I'm wrong, it will honestly be a disappointing outcome for me, the Suns, and other fans involved, because there is absolutely no reason that this team should not at least make the NBA Finals. I truly believe the biggest challenge for the Suns lie in the East against the Bucks or the 76ers. The West does have some high-caliber talent, but despite Luka, despite Jokic, despite Steph, Klay, Donovan Mitchell, or Ja Morant, The Suns have Chris Paul at point guard. They have Devin Booker scoring 26-plus points a night. They have two great wing defenders and some that can come off the bench, and DeAndre Ayton in the middle. There is just no team who has that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 6, 7, 8 combo like the Suns do. It's just too much for any team to handle, I believe. And I just don't believe any defense is as impressive as the Suns. And no one can score the basket in the Western Conference on a consistent basis like the Suns can. Yeah, I know Stephen Clay. I know Jokic can get his. I definitely know Luka can get his. But on a consistent basis, I believe the Suns got every team in the West beat. Now, this would also be a moment to see Chris Paul finally earn his diamond-studded championship ring. Chris Paul already has a heck of an NBA legacy to tell. But what a better way than one of the greatest point guards of all time to add to that story than getting his first NBA championship in year 16. Chris Paul is a 12-time NBA All-Star, a 10-time All-NBA player, a 9-time All-Defensive player, a former Rookie of the Year, and he's led the league in assists 4 times and steals 6 times. And he's also a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team, who I still believe Dwight Howard should have been a part of, but that's not the story. He's on the Lakers. Most players wish for half of these accolades in their career. But I'm going to be a little bit truthful. I'm going to tell the truth here. 50% of me rooting for the Suns is me rooting for Chris Paul, who is my favorite point guard. There, I said it. But I don't have no shame in it. But what is also certain about these playoffs is me thinking the Suns are going to win it all, is that the Los Angeles Lakers and GM LeBron James are taking a hike. All those Hall of Fame players are going to be sitting at home together watching the young guys take a swing at it. And just like LeBron, it's more likely that Kevin Durant will be home soon. Although I am a bit worried because if Bron was desperate enough to get D. Wade, Chris Bosh, Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis to make big threes, one that worked and one didn't, what's stopping him from being desperate enough to recruit the Snake? Because we all know the Snake is not too desperate to be recruited by anybody. Either way, NBA playoffs, no LeBron, Suns all the way. Let's go, Phoenix.
You're going down.
And now we're going to move to the NFL. Come to think of it, when was the last time we seen Deshaun Watson? Last time we seen Deshaun Watson, it was January 2021 in my home city of Houston, where he played his last snap for the Houston Texans. Why has it been a whole year? Why has it been a whole year since we seen the former Heisman Trophy winner? Well, as I'm sure anyone who isn't hiding under a rock knows, Deshaun Watson loves himself a good massage. And due to his indulgence in that world, he since has garnered 22 lawsuits of sexual assault, all from different women. If I had the kind of money that he did, what am I doing using 22 different individuals for anything? I'd have a personal chef. I'd have a personal person cleaning my home. I'd have a personal driver. There's no excuses for Deshaun Watson and his allegations, but my opinion on this matter has to focus on football, so it will. So, what is the breaking news? The breaking news is Deshaun Watson got his way out of Houston despite being paid all that money, which just hurt my soul every step of the way. He weaseled his way into the Cleveland Browns organization, who has upset what many thought would be the franchise QB, Baker Mayfield, and they required Deshaun on the premise that they needed an adult at quarterback, an adult. For people who don't understand what that means, someone who's mature, someone who stays out of trouble, who don't bother nobody, an adult. An adult with 22 lawsuits of sexual assault. I still have to check my facts when I read that statement. I can't believe that it was actually said. Forget the fact that Baker is a subpar quarterback at best, in my opinion. The audacity to spit the words adult to the media and Deshaun Watson in the same breath at this point in time is probably not good for the PR of the Browns front office, who has prided themselves on running a clean organization away from these kind of issues. But nonetheless, The Browns were able to acquire Watson after the grand jury decided not to prosecute him on these charges on March 11th. Yet even with this, the NFL still could suspend the QB if they decided to for his connection in such allegations. The Browns paid Watson $230 million, and on the field, this man is worth it. I will give it that this man is worth all the money that they gave him. He is as deserving as a player as any quarterback in the NFL at this moment. But this is too much of an award for me for a guy who has so much dirt on him and who was in so much deep water just a month ago. And poor Baker Mayfield, I mean, he has been awful, but no one wants this man at quarterback. This may be a sit-down year for Baker Mayfield. And I just want to talk about how Deshaun Watson basically robbed my Houston Texans. It's hard being a hopeless romantic to some of these football teams, man. I mean, it's just hard. I've had to go through the ups and downs of Gary Kubiak's era. Matt Schaub just disappearing on me out of nowhere. It was so sudden. Did anyone ever watch that? How it just happened? And my chest hurts every time I say Arian Foster. Bill O'Brien just brings me nightmares. I mean, do you know the nerve it took for him to leave his home after what he did to this organization? But at least we still had Deshaun. Oh, sorry. No, we don't. But officially, after robbing us of so much money, goodbye, Deshaun Watson, from me and the entire state of Texas. Hello, Davis Mills. I hope to God we have one of those quiet generational talents that just takes us to a different stratosphere, even to our standards. But then I just sound like a Cowboys fan. What will happen in this situation in Cleveland? Well, the NFL is full of surprises in the spring, so I'll be here to talk about it as it comes, I'm sure. And what will come of Baker Mayfield? Well, if you see him in a video with Colin Kaepernick, just know it's over. It's like a famous actor or singer being on Dancing with the Stars. Just know it's over. The NFL isn't even here yet, and we have blockbuster trades and moves being made. And don't forget to listen in. The draft is soon, and there will be news to cover on the future of these organizations. I will be here to talk about the 2022 NFL Draft. Long live the king! The Lakers are no longer a maybe, it's a definite no, and the Suns are a shoo-in. Book that. John Harper, I'd like to congratulate you, man. Keep up the stellar performances, and let's bring another title to Texas A&M Kingsville. And let the banners hang high for the Jayhawks, your new Division I NCAA basketball champions. And if you want to hear helmets and shoulder pads cracking all over Pepsi Field here in Kingsville, well, the spring game is on April 23rd. Head coach Michael Salinas and the Javelinas are expecting big things, and they want your support, so show up and show out. I don't know if you should bring your tortillas this time. Just bring them anyway. Let it rain on the field. This has been the Sports Corner with Dylan Sanchez here on KTAI 91.1 here in Kingsville, Texas. And remember, hard work pays off. Dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. See you next time.